Hello and welcome to 5 Minutes of Postgres. My name is Lucas, and today we're going to talk about the updated Postgres minor releases that were just released this week, and specifically we're going to talk about the security issue that was fixed in this release. Now, I'll tell you first off that this security issue, CVE-2024-4317, is a fairly minor one. But the reason I want to talk about it is because I was the one who reported it. I want to explain to you when this can be a problem and how you can apply the fix. Because the most important thing is if you want to fix this issue, you cannot just upgrade the minor release. You actually do have to take action on an existing database to fix the problem. So this problem is an information leak problem between different users on your Postgres system. Specifically, information that Postgres collected as part of extended statistics or the create statistics command. Further, you'd have to have created statistics on an expression. The chance that this is actually a problem in your system is unlikely, but especially if you know that you are using extended statistics, this is something that you should certainly investigate and patch. Now, I want to show you the reproducer that I shared with the community security mailing list when I reported this. So to be clear, what you should be doing when you see security issues like this, you should report them to the security mailing list, and you shouldn't tell anybody about it until the community has had time to respond. So even on a minor issue like this, I was careful to not talk about it until I knew that minor releases were released that provide a patch. Now, I discovered this issue when I was working with extended statistics and expressions. Specifically in pganalyze, we are now tracking extended statistics information. And so as part of that work, I was surprised why we were able to see data that we shouldn't have been able to see without some additional steps. The reproducer that I shared with the community here essentially has us creating a table, and then we're querying that table from another user that shouldn't have privileges. I'll show that to you first just to illustrate the problem. So here on my server, this is on a virtual machine that's on the old minor release. This is 16.2. I'm creating a table, and then I'm inserting some values into it. And then I'm creating extended statistics objects. The first object here is just a regular extended statistics object. And the second and the third one, those are statistics objects on expressions. And so the problem only happens with expression statistics. Now I'm analyzing this table. And now, obviously, if I'm my current user, I'm the super user, I can just access the data. And I can also, in this case, when I'm the super user, just query the pgstats.ext view, often useful for debugging, trying to understand which data did Postgres sample. And Postgres has this logic, where as part of the statistics, it will collect most common values, so that when this value shows up in a query, Postgres can know that it's a very frequent one and can essentially make smarter planner decisions. Now, the security issue here happens when you connect to a different user. Here I have my test user. This user does not have privileges to query the table. So if I just select star from table 1, I get permission denied. But now the problem is, if I'm running the select from the pgstats.ext view, I'm able to see the data that I shouldn't be able to see. This is essentially the core of the issue. Even if I'm an unrelated user, I can suddenly see this internal statistics, and they may contain sensitive data. Again, it's a little bit narrow, right? But this clearly can be a problem on some systems. Now, in order to fix this, the community actually has a few extra steps that you need to do to resolve this. And specifically, the issue relates to the fact that this vulnerability is in the pgstats.ext system view. This system view is defined by Postgres on initialization of the database. And the problem lies in this where condition in this internal system view, because this where condition did not correctly include statistics objects that were on expressions. Now, on this system, we're going to upgrade our Postgres. We're now on 16.3. This is the fixed version. Now, here's the challenging part about this security update. If I now connect here on my other user, this one should not be able to access things. And now I query it again. And this is still broken, right? So even though I just upgraded to the newest minor release, it's still not working as expected because I can query this information despite having upgraded. And really the problem comes down to the fact that these views are not updated automatically when you update the release. And so in the community instructions, as noted, this fix only fixes fresh Postgres installations, namely those that are created with initdb after the fix is applied, after the new minor release is installed. Now, if you have a current Postgres installation like we do here, and we're concerned about this issue, which let's suppose we are, then we need to follow these additional remediation steps. And so what we need to do is we need to essentially run a script that replaces the system view. And you can either do this from the file system if you use the regular packages, or you can get this from the Postgres Git repository. So just to show you what the fix is doing, it's literally replacing these views with the fixed version. And the relevant part is this where condition here, where the where condition now checks if the user is table owner, and only if the user is a table owner or a super user, then they're allowed to view this information. Now here we have the package-based install, so we can actually source this SQL file. And so I'm going to apply this. Now we can see here that the where condition just changed. So now we have the fixed version. And if now with my test user, I'm trying to access this again, the data is no longer visible. So just to summarize, if you want to confirm whether you've upgraded correctly or not, you can look at the view definition for pgstats.ext and check this where condition. Note, just for completeness sake, that there's actually a second view, which is pgstat.ext expressions, which also has the same issue. Both of these are going to be updated if you apply that fix. Now, the other thing that we have to do here is we have to apply this on each of our databases. I just fixed this for the Postgres database here, but I actually have the template databases as well. And template databases are important because those databases are the ones that are essentially used for instantiating new databases. So if I were to run create database now, I would actually have the vulnerability happen again. And so what I need to do now is for template 0, I temporarily need to allow connections. I can connect to it and apply the fix. And then I can connect to template 1, do the same thing. And then I make template 0 to not allow connections again. This now is a complete fix. Now we actually know that both existing databases and new databases no longer have this security vulnerability. Thank you so much for listening. This was 5 Minutes of Postgres. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear about next week's episode, and talk to you next week.